Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the midweek update. Doing this one a little bit early today. Just been a crazy couple of days, but thought I needed to do a video here because there's a lot of you jumping out of those first floor windows here on some of the action we're seeing out there. I'm starting off with NVAX today because what we are seeing in small caps today and in large cap in general is a whole lot of phony BS. This is NVAX. Now, NVAX has essentially gone from $7 to $189 over the last 3 months. So to say that a pullback was coming and needed in this stock would be an understatement. Like all the other COVID stocks that have run 100, 300, 400%, nothing goes up without coming down. But what has caused the sell-off is rather comical. There's a Sputnik vaccine that's been tried on 76 people with no data shared, no details, no nothing. The Sputnik vaccine. But for some reason, Wall Street has latched onto it, and there has been a sell-off in the COVID stocks like you haven't seen. You know, most Americans won't even wear a mask right now, and that's why we continue to have record cases. Do we honestly think they're going to take a vaccine from a Russian company? Anyway, totally different and strange side note, but that is what we have seen out there. Now, why would that happen? And we're going to flip over to the Dow daily chart. The reason why we're seeing that happen because it's August, the volumes are low, and they need to get rid of these large cap stocks before the election sell-off comes. And what they use to push large caps are everything is okay. We've got a cure for the COVID. COVID's gone. Did you not know that? The last 2 days, COVID's cured. It's over and done with. Buy all the Dow stocks. Everything's hunky-dory. We are 1%. We are 1,600 points as of now from the all-time highs in this market. And we have 18 million people unemployed. The stimulus plan is dead in the water. There was an executive order this week. California, the biggest state that funds almost all of the U.S., can't even afford to pay it. So there is no stimulus deal. The Republicans and the Democrats are not talking, and the market is hitting new highs. They are getting us and setting us up for the market needs to make Washington make a deal. We had a big move. As when I started this video, Dow was up 340. 30 minutes left in the day. Wouldn't surprise me if they push it up to 500. I mean, it is crazy what we're seeing in large caps. Now, look down here. When we had that big sell-off yesterday, because yesterday Biden was bad for the market and Biden was, or the Russian drug was bad for the market. Big volume down day. Today, opposite. Russian vaccine is good for the market. So is Biden's VP, and it's on half the volume. This is what we call a distribution wave. This is when Wall Street hands off shares to the average schmoes and they eat it up. This is the Dow 15-minute chart. This is a 12-day on the 1-hour chart, 12-day uptrend in this bearish rising wedge. Now we are starting to flatten out here, so let's see if they finally pull the rug out. But again, I saw a note. I don't know the exact percentages, but I believe short interest in the market is at one of the lowest levels we've seen in months. Now, that is actually a bearish thing for the market because the reason this is all happening, the reason the market keeps going up every day, the reason stocks like Tesla go up $200 in a day is because of shorts. The shorts have covered. The interest is low. When the shorts have covered, that buying squeeze power disappears. So nasty, nasty move in these stocks. Let's look at the QQQ. Same thing. Look at this. Just straight up, straight up, straight up. Now let's jump into some plays. Based on looking at Nvax, guys were surprised that we have seen a massive sell-off in COVID-19 stocks. Why are you surprised? Look what's happening to the leaders on other nonsense that's out there. You don't think the tertiary plays are going to sell off? Now, this is the 1-hour chart of DSS. You're going to see this pattern on almost all the stocks we talk about today. This is the panic, I'm jumping out the window, all the weekends are gone kind of action. It's down here and setting up and looking for an excuse to bounce. Now, if we look at the daily chart, lo and behold, we're still inside this trading range that we've been in for the last, 4+ months. This past week on Monday, we got that merger vote and the stock just briefly broke above the trend line, but they said, nope, And then that Russian news yesterday and today knocked it all the way back down. So, you know, we've seen this happen 1, 2, 3 times now in the last 3 months. So the thing about today, usually I would have been out buying hand over fist these stocks, but there was a lot of panic out there in many of these stocks. And the reason there's a lot of panic out there is a lot of them are new to the market. A lot of them don't listen to the rules. And a lot of them try to make and win enough profits on a trade to buy a Lamborghini on every trade. They go all in. They listen to these clowns on Twitter who post the screenshots of their account gains that probably are photoshopped and are likely BS, and it's called gambling, not trading what they do. But people like reading that and watching that, and that's what you see happening. Now, DSS, we're all the way back to the bottom of the trading range again. This merger is now approved, so now all that news that comes out is going to be under DSS. Now, do we want that news to come out right now? Hell no, because the Russians have, quotation marks, cured COVID. So now no one wants any of these USA COVID stocks because they are going to rush out and use an untested Russian vaccine on themselves. The same people, mind you, who won't wear a mask. ADMP, same thing happened here. Now, we've talked about this one. Over the last week, it just couldn't break through that 130 level. And then yesterday, broke through that 115 floor, and then you had everyone and their mom panicking out of this one today. Now, we actually jumped into this one when it dipped down to this 200-day moving average on the 1-hour chart, and you can see nice little bounce back. And again, this is what you are going to see on many of these stocks. We're oversold on the 1-hour chart. I mean, all the indicators are oversold, so a lot of the weekends should be out. We probably don't want news on these stocks while all this negative action's out there, because look at AVCO. This is a new COVID vaccine play. Monstrous news today. This stock a week ago would have been at $2.50 to $3 easily on the news that they released today. But right now, the COVID stocks, no one likes them. And look at this tremendous buying volume on this one over the last couple of days, but it's still sitting in this sideways move. Probably a $2 break is where you'll see them chasing when these COVID stocks come back in vogue, be it tomorrow, Friday, or next week. They're going to start coming for these stocks, so keep an eye on them that had really good news but got beat over the head because of what's happening out there. ARPO, another one, fantastic news, great earnings report, loaded in cash, but it's still trapped underneath this breakout level. So JAGX broke out nicely for us, but again, every one of these stocks got smacked over the head today. Now, a couple of the reasons why you see that happening, and we're going to go into it. People said, well, you're saying it's COVID stocks, but it's spreading to other stocks. Well, guys are overloaded in stocks. If you're overloaded in a stock and you get hit, what do you think these guys do? They sell everything. They sell their COVIDs, they sell all their other stuff, and that breeds panic selling throughout. JAGX, this is the 1-hour chart. These are the window jumpers right here, back down to the 200-day moving average and consolidating nicely. Oversold on all the time frames. You know, this is another one we're going to be looking for dip buy, at least I am, tomorrow and Friday. VTGN, big pop for this one on Monday. Broke over that $1 range again. After today, I don't know why they were selling this stock today, because everyone was mental in the free room today on the sell-off we saw on these stocks. They probably need this drug to get approved quickly too. Mental health play all the way back to the support line. Let's see what happens on this one in the next couple of days. Now, this is just a pulled out daily chart. We broke above that downtrend line and then came back down underneath it. We've seen this happen many times before. It takes some big news and big volume to bust out through some of these big resistance. So when they break it and then pull back, it's not something to be surprised about. Quick mention on CPSH. A lot of talk with the space news out there. A lot of contracts flowing. SpaceX, huge NASA contract. These guys still have not released their press release that they're on the Mars rover. Again, when they do, probably see chasers on a pre-market press release. INUV, again, the 70 area is really key for this stock. They report earnings, I believe, after the close tomorrow. The last earnings report, this was the last earnings report back in May, and about, 3 weeks later, the stock doubled. So let's see. If the economy is booming, as the large cap stocks are saying, and air travel is back and travel's back up and everything's hunky-dory, advertising stocks, common sense says they should start to do well. So just saying. Salami, online education stocks, for some reason, people don't like them right now, even though we are seeing schools that have defied common sense and opened up are starting to shut down because all their students are catching COVID. Again, resistance line right here, 160, strong support level right here as well. PHUN, quick mention on PHUN. Remember a week ago when everyone was complaining about PHUN? This stock won't break $1.50. Then it ran to $1.85, came back to $1.50. Yesterday, 194. I mean, that's a 40% gain in a couple of days, and then everyone rushed out the door. Yesterday into the day, oh my God, run for the hills. Even though we've got a big webinar tomorrow and earnings on Friday, this is another one of those things where guys just panic sell everything, and then panic breeds panic. Shorts smell the panic, the robots smell the panic, and this is what you see happen. Nice little bounce off this one. Deep oversold on all the time frames. And if we look over here on the daily chart, even though we broke above that 180 level and popped up, they brought it right back down to that support line again for us to do it again. Strong support remains at the 50-day at 138. It bounced nicely off that today. You know, instead of panicking on these kinds of stocks, when you know the 50-day is at 138 and you see a panic selling mood on a stock like this during the day, these are great entry points. You jump in here and you go, okay, well, 138 is a 200-day moving average or 50-day moving average. That'll be my stop. I'll risk 5 cents to make 10, 20, 30 cents on the bounce. This is what you should be looking at when you see this kind of action, not running around like your house is on fire. SLGG, back to where it was a week ago. I actually thought it was a really good earnings report. That press release yesterday was really good. They're going to use their technology to allow networks to do remote studios. That is going to be big going forward. A lot of people are talking about that, but, you know, it got beat over the head like everything else. For some reason, the TikTok plays are out of vogue. This is the 1 hour chart just to show you again. You see this little jumped out the window, and then this is where the window jumpers slowly bleed out, and then we'll probably see it bounce back up to the 20-day, which is at 280. Deep oversold on all the time frames. You know, I like to sit back when you see panic selling like this, and if I go, okay, this is a really extreme sell-off. Am I scared of adding this stock tomorrow? No. Okay, I'm not going to sell today. I'm going to see what happens tomorrow. That's usually how I approach these kind of crazy days that we see today. Speaking of TikTok, IZEA, big move last week and now has come all the way back down to the 20-day exponential. TikTok is not over. Remember, this story is going to be in play until mid-September. Big run up, hit resistance, came right back down. These kinds of action, it's fantastic. Last year, we would have stocks just do this flatline action for months at a time. And now we have stocks dancing all over the place and people are going crazy when they can be using these dips to make their swing positions free and get easy day trade gains. WIMI, some nice news over the last couple of days. Again, look, this is all the panic sellers getting out. This is the 1 hour chart. Positive MACD cross coming. All the indicators look nice. So this one, downside, minimal at this one. I mean, if you're in this one as a swing, we originally got into it at 7. I believe the average is right around here. I'd be loving extra ads here in the next couple of days in this range. Last one I want to mention here is HOV, Hall of Fame company. Look at this one over the last few days. Everyone running out the door. RSI as oversold as it's ever been. Extreme negative MACD, stochastics in the toilet. NFL play. I actually think the NFL is going to be the only league that's actually going to play no matter what the news is this fall. So there will, in my opinion, be NFL. Even though college sports have done away with it, the NFL is absolutely going to have games. These kinds of stocks will bounce back. So point of the story is, guys, there's a reason I've always said never more than 5% in position, and that's on the high side. It should be more of 1 to 2 to 3 max. Always have 50% cash. Don't panic. Dips are your friend. If you're scared of a position or scared in the market, it means you have too much invested. You're supposed to be able to sleep at night. If you can't sleep at night, you've got too much invested, chop your positions. Make it a point where you can trade chill, trade like a robot and not be emotional. So have a great night, and I will see you guys all in the chat room tomorrow. Bye.